अनेक रचित अगदहि बिबसहु जासु नाम नर कहि जन्म अनेक रचित अगदहि सादर सुमिरन जे नर करहि सादर सुमिरन जे नर करहि भव बारिधि भव बारिधि गोपद इव तरहि। अमित नारायण प्रभु, कोई कमेंट है?
हाँ प्रभु जी, थोड़ा टेक्निकल एरर दिख रहा है, तो आप थोड़ा समय ले लीजिए। मीनवाइल हम लोग वापस हरि नाम करते हैं थोड़ी देर। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So by the time this issue gets resolved, we'll request that we'll continue chanting for a time being. Hare Krishna. So you can unmute yourself.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Mahaprabhu
Krishna Hare
Nityananda
Krishna
Sri
Krishna Krishna Hare
Asari
Hare
Gaur Bhakta
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Ram Ram
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Ram Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram Hare
Ram
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 Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
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 Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram Hare
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
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 Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna Hare Krishna Ram, Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram Hare Krishna, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vasadi Gaur President, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Hare
बिबसहु जासु नाम नर कहि जनमयनेक रचित अघदहि सादर सुमिरन जे नर करहि सादर सुमिरन जे नर करहि भव बारिधि गोपद इव तरहि हे जी भव बारिधि गोपद इव तरहि। परम सौभाग्य
We are extremely fortunate that all the devotees who have taken the shelter of Harinam and who are attending the Bhagvat Katha, so in Ramayan, the author writes about the glories of Harinam. He says that if we chant the holy names with love, enthusiasm, then that is the best. But even if somebody chants the holy names because of compulsion,
अब ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि यहाँ पर जितने भी लोग हरि नाम ले रहे हैं,
so it's not that everyone who is gathered here are chanting the holy names filled with love filled with tears of ecstasy. Some are chanting because of love, somebody because of uh, because we are being called, or somebody to make us happy. So even if somebody chants the holy name, even in distress or compulsion, then
हमने जो रचे हैं, अनेक जन्मों में
so,
हमने क्या रचा है? अघ. अघ माने पाप.
so the sins that we have accumulated in during the repeated birth and death,
सारे पाप दहन हो जाते हैं,
they
जल
all get
हो जाते हैं. क्या करने से?
burnt in
विवश
like
होकर भी यदि
fire,
हरि नाम लिया जाए.
even if we chant the holy name with compulsion. And if we do it with pray with love, then it will be something more beneficial.
जलकर भस्म हो जाते हैं. और विवश होकर नहीं, परंतु आदर के साथ, जैसे
And
आप लोग
if we chant the holy name with respect,
कह रही, विवश होकर हरि नाम
so
लिया तो अनेक जन्मों के पाप जलकर भस्म हो गए. लेकिन उस
if
आगे
you
उससे भी
chant
ऊपर
vivash, like with compulsion, but
तो
if
क्या होगा?
we chant the holy name with other, that is respect,
ये जो भव सागर है,
then
जिसको पार करना अत्यंत कठिन है,
the
मुश्किल है,
world, the
दुष्कर
material
है,
world, which is
दुर्लभ है,
difficult to cross,
लेकिन इस भव
extremely
सागर को
difficult
गोपद इव तरही, ये
to
भव सागर
cross,
उस व्यक्ति के लिए गोपद. गोपद माने गाय के पग से, बारिश की सीजन में कीचड़ में
so
जब गाय
it
पग
is
देती है,
as small, it becomes as small as a
तो उस
small
व्यक्ति के लिए
hole
ये
that
भव
is been
सागर
created
गाय के
by
पांव से
the
बने हुए खड्डे के
paws
समान
of the
छोटा सा हो
cow
जाएगा.
during the
लेकिन यदि
rains.
आदर के साथ
So
हरि
if
नाम
somebody
करेगा,
chants the holy name with respect, this
तो
material,
यहाँ
crossing this material world,
एक तो
which is the
विवश
ocean
होकर
of
हरि नाम
misery,
जप किया
will be as easy
तो
to
अनेक
cross
जन्मों के
that
पाप भस्म
puddle
हो जाते हैं.
created by the paw of the
तो
cow.
जैसे तैसे एन केन प्रकारेण
So
बाय हुक
in
और क्रुक हरि नाम
in
लेना अत्यंत
whatever
आवश्यक.
way we
तुलसीदास
chant,
जी कहते
it
हैं
is
तुलसी
necessary to chant
अपने
the holy
राम
names.
को रीझ कर हो
Surdas ji
ना
writes,
रीझ. कभी कभी बच्चों को कहते हैं ना माला जप करो, तो बेचारे बच्चे
so sometimes when we
खुशियों
tell
में आके
kids
करते
to
हैं, लेकिन
chant the holy
कभी
names,
रीझ
they
कर
do
तो
it
कभी खींच कर.
with
तो गोस्वामी जी कहते हैं
the
तुलसी
chant.
अपने राम को रीझ
So
भजो
Tulsidas
या
ji says
खींच कर.
that
रीझ कर भजो या
you
खींच कर,
either you
लेकिन
chant the holy
तुम्हारा
names
रीझा हुआ
with
जो फल
love,
है, भूमि में
or
फेंक
that
के
is
उगेंगे
rich,
उल्टे
or
सीधे
kich,
बीज.
that is with distress
जैसे
or
किसी बीज
compulsion,
को कोई
but
किसान आवाज
still
देता है
they
और
will
भूमि में फेंक देता
give
है,
the seeds,
तो वो सीधा हो,
seeds
उल्टा हो, टेढ़ा हो, लेकिन जब वो
as
उगना
a
होता है तो
farmer
बिल्कुल सीधा ही आता है.
when
तो
throws
भगवत
the
नाम
seeds
को रीझ से
despite
या
they are
खींच से,
straight or not
भाव से
straight,
या
but
जल्दी
still
बुद्धि से
if they have to
हरि नाम
sprout
मिल
they
जाए
will come
तो बराबर का
straight.
फल प्रदान करते हैं.
Similarly, the fruit of Harinam will
सो
be
विवश होकर
provided
सभी पापों
no
से
matter
रहित
whether we
और
are
आदर के
chanting
साथ
with
यदि
love,
करेंगे तो
respect,
दिव्य
or
प्रेम प्राप्त हो जाएगा.
compulsion. So if we
ईश्वर
chant the
प्रेम
holy names,
प्राप्त हो
we
जाएगा.
will get
ईश्वर
the
धाम प्राप्त
eternal
होगा,
love
वृंदावन
and
प्राप्त होगा.
devotional service towards the Lord
तब यहाँ पर
and
गोस्वामी जी
eternal
कह रहे हैं
abode
कि
of the Lord.
सादर स आदर, आदर के साथ
So
हरि नाम
sadar
लेने का
means with
अर्थ क्या
respect.
है?
So what is the meaning of
रेस्पेक्टफुली
sa-adar
चैंटिंग,
or
आदर के
respectfully
साथ
chanting?
हरि
What
नाम
does it
लेना.
means?
वैसे बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स हो सकते हैं,
So there can be multiple
तीन मेरे मन में आते
points,
हैं. मैं तीन
but
पॉइंट आपको कहूंगा.
let me share the three most important here with
वेदों
you.
में, शास्त्रों
In
में,
Ramayana and Vedas and Shastras,
जहाँ हरि नाम लेने की बात है,
wherever it's mentioned
तो
that
आदर
to
का
chant the holy name with
सबसे पहला
respect or
अर्थ है
adar means,
माला के साथ,
so the
बीड़े
first
के
is
साथ.
to chant the
हरि
holy
नाम की
names
जो
with
माला
the
है,
bead bag.
माला के साथ हरि नाम जाप करना चाहिए.
So we should chant the holy names with the bead bag. And the benefit of chanting on the beads is are first, if you have the bead bag, then it becomes easier to remember the Lord. Because when we see the bead bag, we immediately get the reverie or remembrance of the Lord. So that is the first meaning, that is to chant with the whole bead bags. And the second meaning for the same is
एक लाभ तो
so the first benefit is that we it becomes easier to remember the God while we are chanting on the bead bag.
ये माला शस्त्र का काम करती है
Secondly, it acts as a weapon. We all are in the Kali Yuga, that is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy,
जब करते हैं तो माया के साथ सतत लगातार
and
युद्ध होता है
and we are constantly fighting a battle with the Maya, that is the
माला मन से लड़ पड़ी तू नहीं बिसरे मोई
external potency of the Lord.
माला जो है मन से लड़ पड़ी कि तू मुझे क्यों नहीं
So
छोड़ रहा है
there is a saying that there was a
मन से लड़
fight between the beads and the heart, that why you're not leaving me,
मुझे क्यों नहीं त्याग रहा है
that why don't you leave me. So it says that
लड़ता देखा न कोई
so without a weapon we haven't seen any brave heart fighting. So no matter how much brave or courageous you may be, but you cannot fight without a weapon in your hand. So in the on the borders of the country, the army men are constantly protecting our borders, but with the help of weapons. They're not barehanded.
जैसे कोई सूरमा कोई शूरवीर
So,
बिना शस्त्र के नहीं लड़ता
so
वैसे डिवोटी बिना माला के जाप
even a devotee cannot chant without a bead bag because it acts as a weapon.
नाम लेने का
So,
पहला अर्थ है कि हाथ
so
में माला
with
भगवान
respect,
के नाम का
to
जाप
chant the
करें।
name means
इससे पहले
first
एक
is
तो हरि की याद आती है
because it helps in remembering the Lord, and
शस्त्र का
second,
काम
it acts
करती
as a weapon against the Maya or the material
हमारा जितना
energy
नियम है वो नियम
or
पूरा
external
करने
energy of
के
the
लिए
Lord.
माला जरूरी है अन्यथा 16 माला
So
32 माला जो
thirdly,
नियम है
it is
वो नियम
our
पूरा नहीं
regulative
होगा
principle to
क्योंकि
count and
कलयुग
chant,
है और
and if
कलयुग
we
में हर
don't
मनुष्य की
use the
बुद्धि
bead bag, we
आगे
may
से
not
ज्यादा
be able
माया
to
की ओर अधिक है
count properly,
इसलिए यदि
as
हम
we are
पहले
in
ही
the
दिन
age of Kali Yuga,
माला के
quarrel and
साथ जाप नहीं
hypocrisy.
करेंगे तो वो
So
माला धीरे धीरे कम हो जाएगी
we might
बढ़ाने
be
से बढ़ानी चाहिए लेकिन बिना माला के जाप करेंगे तो
we
कम हो
might be
जाएगी
entangled
ये लाभ
in the
और चौथा लाभ
sense gratification
कि इस
of
दुनिया में
sleeping, eating,
हम जिसे
etc.
ज्यादा वैल्यू देते हैं ना उसे
And when
गिनते हैं
we value
जैसे
something,
हम और
we
आप
always
किसी
count.
पैसे लेते हैं
When we
तो
take
गिन कर लेते हैं
money
गिन कर देते
or
हैं
give money to
क्योंकि
somebody, we
हमें
always
पता है
count
कि
and give
पैसे डॉलर की वैल्यू
because
है
we know the
लेकिन
value
जो
of money.
हरि भक्त होते हैं
But the
उनको
devotees
भगवान
of
के
the
नाम
Lord,
की वैल्यू होती है
they value the
इसलिए भगवान के
names
नाम वो गिन कर लेते हैं
of
संकल्प
the
पूर्वक
Lord. That
फिर
is why
आगे
they
कहा
count and they chant.
सादर सुमिरन
So these are the
पूजन
three
करई
benefits.
आदर के साथ हरि नाम लेना चाहिए तो इसका एक अर्थ हुआ कि
So the
माला के
first
साथ
is
हरि नाम जाप करें
that we should chant
दूसरा
the
जब
holy
भी
names
वैष्णवों के
with
नाम जाप
bead
करते
bag.
हुए माला के साथ अच्छा आदर के साथ हरि नाम
Then
लेने का
the
दूसरा अर्थ है
second meaning of
हरि नाम
so
जब
other
भी
or
कोई
to
व्यक्ति
chant
कर
with
सकता है
respect means
जैसे मरे
that
हुए
we should
समय
chant
हरे
with full energy and enthusiasm. We should not be dull
मतलब
as
तीव्र
if
गति
we are
में
lying
जोर
on a
पूर्वक
deathbed
उत्साह में
and
हरि नाम
chanting.
का जाप
So
करना
we should
चाहिए
always be enthusiastic while
और
chanting the holy
भगवत गीता में
names.
लिखा है
in Padma Purana it's mentioned that the more enthusiastic we become, then we will get the benefit very fast. So this is the verse in front of your screen from Padma Purana. Sri Vedvyasji writes,
यन्नाम कीर्तनं भक्त्या विलापनमनूत्तमम् मैत्रेया शेष पापानां मैत्रेया शेष पापानां धातुमेव पावक धातुमेव पावक यत नाम कीर्तनम भक्त्या यत नाम माने
so
भगवत
Yatnam means the names of
भगवान
Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
होता है
So if somebody chants the holy names of the Lord,
तो वो जब कैसे होना चाहिए
so that japa or chanting should be how?
उत्तम विलाप के साथ
It should be with tears
जैसे कोई
or
बालक अपनी माँ के लिए रोता है
Prabhupada ji describes that vilap is like the
हरि नाम जप करना चाहिए
steadiness in which a child cries for his or her mother. Similarly, we should chant the holy names of the Lord as if we are in distress because we are away from the Lord.
कि जितना अधिक विलाप
So, what is the meter? So, the more
से हम हरि नाम जाप
stead, the more we chant with steadfastness,
उतने अधिक मात्रा में
then
हमारे पाप
in
जलकर भस्म
immediately in that same
कमाल किया एग्जाम्पल
scale our sins will be burned. So the sages give an example.
पावक माने अग्नि
Pavak means fire.
धातु को पवित्र कर
The fire purifies the metal, whether it's iron, gold, or silver. All these metals, if we put them in fire, they get purified.
जितना आग में तपाओगे जितना
And the more we burn them in fire, the more they become pure. And immediately they'll become pure.
पकाने
As the metal
अधिक अग्नि में पकाएंगे उतना
becomes pure, the more the temperature or more the heat, then it will purify fast. Similarly, if we chant the holy name with enthusiasm and steadfastness, then we will purified soon or on that same scale. So, with respect, chanting is to chant with feedback, and the second is with enthusiasm.
आदर के साथ हरि नाम जाप करने का तीसरा अर्थ
And the
है
third meaning for chant with faith, Vishwas.
विश्वास पालन
So, we should have the faith that Krishna will take care of us. And Harinayam or the chanting will protect me. With that faith, we should chant the holy names, and that is chanting with respect. So, once upon a time, it happened that after the battle between Ram and Ravan,
लंका के राजा
Ramji became the king of Lanka. And in those days,
पर
on the banks of the sea in Lanka, they were sitting on the bank. She arrived at the same place.
अब देखो फेस इज
face is the index of the heart. If you want to see the heart, then you will understand. If you want to see what's going in his heart, you can judge it by the first. So realized that this person is in distress. So he asked, "Are you in some distress or you have some problem?" So he said, "Yeah, I have a problem." So he said, "What is your problem?" He said that I want to cross the sea and go to India or Bharat. So, but there is not a boat with which I can go there. So Vibhishanji said that I have one solution for the same, and that solution is. So Vibhishanji thought in his mind, sometime before Ramji crossed this seashore and he made this bridge. And how was that bridge created? Because the stones started to float as they had the name of the Lord engraved. So Vibhishanji thought that when a stone can float, then why can't the person float? And Vibhishanji had extreme faith in the holy name of Lord Ram. So Vibhishanji, what he did was he wrote the Mahamantra on that paper,
इस प्रकार से महामंत्र लिख दिया और उस महामंत्र की चिट्ठी को
and then
आदमी के पास जो धोती थी उस
he
धोती का एक कोना था उसके
put
साथ बांध दिया
that letter or paper on the clothes of that person. And he said that this is the Tarak mantra and have stuck it to your clothes. So now you can walk on the sea and you can reach to Bharat or India. So this guy was thinking that as soon as he kept his feet on the seashore and he started walking on the water, and when he was in the middle of the sea, so he got little skeptical that this Mahamantra is very powerful, that I am able to walk on the sea or water. So he thought that let me just open it and see what's written in this paper. So he opened. So when he realized that it was the Mahamantra that was written on the paper, so this person thought in his mind, this such an ordinary mantra has been given, and Vibhishanji has mentioned this is a Tarak mantra. This cannot be a Tarak mantra. It's just a straightforward mantra where it's the name of Ram and Krishna. And immediately he lost his faith. So we must remember that even if we are on the top of the bhakti marg, but when we lose faith or we become skeptical, we will fall down immediately from wherever we have been. He had already crossed half of the ocean, but as soon as he lost the faith, he lost everything. He lost the faith and immediately he drowned in the sea and he died. So the meaning for this is that Adar ke saath means to chant with respect is to chant with respect or faith towards the holy name. Sometimes people say that day and night why you chant the holy names day and night. That you should be knowledgeable. We should try to read the Vedas and the Shastras. Just chanting the holy names is not required. But please understand that if we want to become knowledgeable, intelligent, so even if we want the transcendental knowledge, so the only solution is to chant the holy names. Garud Puran mentions the, this in the form of verse in front of your screen. It says that the only way to get the supreme knowledge is Harinam.
परम ज्ञानम ज्ञानाश्च परमं पदम तदा यत्नेन महता तदा यत्नेन महता कुरु श्री हरि कीर्तनम कुरु श्री हरि कीर्तनम। गरुड़ पुराण में भगवान विष्णु
Garud Puran mentions in Vishnuji tells Garud ji that if you want or desire transcendental knowledge or divine knowledge, he wants the absolute knowledge, or even if somebody wants ordinary knowledge, and even if you want an eternal position, that is the Parampad, then we don't need to burn our eyes. We just need to chant the holy names, and by that you will become knowledgeable. Even if you study huge shastras, you won't get the real knowledge completely. So you might say that we are not able to understand that knowledge can be gained only by reading. How you can receive knowledge by chanting? Why and how? What is the process? So let me ask you, what is our eternal position? We are soul, and as a soul, our nature is Satchit Anand. Chit means knowledge, and the soul itself is completely knowledgeable as it's a part and parcel of the absolute personality of Godhead. And because of that, we already possess all the knowledge. What is the problem? Although we have that knowledge, because we are so much conditioned, and due to our gathering of all the misdeeds and sins, so as if a mirror is covered with mud, we won't be able to see our face. Similarly, the soul is surrounded or conditioned because of ignorance and our misdeeds. So, what is the process? So, the soul itself is knowledgeable, but the problem is that it has been covered with the dust of all our sinful actions that we have performed. So, when all that is removed, then definitely the knowledge will be revealed to us. So, what are we supposed to do? So, we just need to clean our soul from all that condition conditionings that we have done. And what is the solution for to clean that? That is the chanting of the holy name.
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ये हरि नाम जो है आत्मा के
So this Harinam
ऊपर लगे हुए
has a
अज्ञान
potency
का
to clean
उत्तम मार्ग
the
है।
dust that has accumulated on our soul due to repeated
एक बहुत
birth.
बड़ा चोर आया है,
So there is a big thief
एक बहुत
who has
बड़ा
arrived.
चोर आया है।
Are you aware of
और
that?
क्योंकि आप अपने घर के हो,
As you are
आपको निवेदन कर रहा हूँ
of my family member,
बचकर रहना।
so I
बहुत बड़ा चोर
request you that you please protect yourself from that.
चोर के बारे में आप जानते हो?
So if I ask that, do you know about that thief?
आप में से कोई
So
कहेगा हाँ हम जानते हैं, वो चोर और कोई नहीं, वो चोर कृष्ण है।
that you
नहीं, वो कृष्ण तो
might
कब
say that the thief is Krishna.
कृष्ण से भी बड़ा
No,
चोर आया
Krishna
है।
is separate. There is a bigger thief than Krishna.
श्लोक दिखाई दे रहा है?
जी प्रभु जी।
आप श्लोक देख सकते हैं ना? तो वो चोर कौन सा है?
So
मैं आपको श्लोक में
who is
दिखा
that thief? Let me show it in the verse. This is the latest news.
इस चोर से बच के रहना भाई।
So we need to beware of this thief. Otherwise, you'll get distressed and disturbed. So who is this thief mentioned in the screen?
नारायणो नाम नरो नराणाम प्रसिद्ध चोर कथित पृथिव्या अनेक जन्मार जित पाप संचयम। क्या चुराता है? अनेक जन्मार जित पाप संचयम हरन्त्यशेषम श्रुतमात्र एव। अद्भुत, बिल्कुल नया।
So this is amazing. This is latest. So till date, we have known that the biggest thief is Krishna, but there is someone who is able to beat Krishna himself is also there. And who is that? You can see in the verse, that is Narayano Nam, that is the holy names of the Lord, is far greater thief than Krishna.
कृष्ण का नाम है। कहते हैं प्रसिद्ध चोर कथित पृथ्व्याम। और ये चोर कहाँ है?
And where is he? Krishna is in Golok, but this thief is in the material world. So the holy names of the Lord is on this earth.
अच्छा, ये तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम की बात है। अच्छा, तो बता दीजिए ये जो कृष्ण नाम रूपी चोर चोरी क्या करता है?
So what does this holy name steals? So people steal money, jewelry, etc. from others. But what does the holy names of the Lord thieves or stoles? Is the sins that we have accumulated over the multiple births that we have taken. So it steals all these accumulated sins from us. And how? It's mentioned in the end, Shrutmav Ev, that even if you just hear its name, so if you just only hear the holy names, the accumulated sins of our multiple births will be stolen by this Hari name. And the mercy of the Lord is that we remember this thief daily, first thing in the morning. So when we chant the holy names, we should try to remember and connect it, that it removes all our desires of enjoying our senses and our sins. So we all have surrendered, taken the shelter of the holy names of the Lord. So there is so many glories of the holy name. So in the Bhagavad, when there is a Shrimad Bhagavatam Katha, and then there is a glorification of Harinam that is eternal. So initially, when the first Katha was organized by Sanat Sanandan, Sanat Kumaras, so there was a kirtan and many people gathered and they started chanting the holy names. You can see in the verse in front of your screen. They say, Praladas Thaladhari. So they were not just, in Srimad Bhagavatam it's mentioned that they were not sitting, but Prahlad Maharaj was playing the instrument and Uddhavji was dancing, or he was using the cymbals, and Devrishi Naradji was playing the veena, and Arjuna, while standing, and he sings a beautiful song or the rag. So everybody was playing instruments and singing, and Indradev was playing the mridanga, and the Sanat Kumars of Brahmaji were doing the Jayakar and were doing the Sankirtana, and in front of them the son of Srila Vyasadev, Shukdev Goswami, was dancing. So there is a glory of the holy name, but in holy name in the Bhagavad is very, very glorious, and the organizers are very fortunate. So when in this way they were doing the Sankirtana, all these great devotees were chanting and dancing, playing instruments and singing. So in the next verse it's mentioned, so they say that when they were doing the kirtan in the Bhagavad Katha, Trikam means bhakti, gyan or vairagya, that is the pure devotional service of the Lord, knowledge, that is gyan, and vairagya, that is detachment. So when there is a Harinam Kirtan in Bhagavatam Katha, then our pure devotional service, that is our bhakti, gyan and vairagya, they dance.
और सबसे बड़ी बात जब इस प्रकार से भागवत में कीर्तन हुआ,
And when there was a kirtan like this in Bhagavatam, and to see this, the Lord Himself, the Lord Vishnu Himself manifested, and He became happy and filled with ecstasy. And He said, what did He say? The next verse it's mentioned. He's asking, go ask for a boon. Mato means to ask for a benediction. Varam.
प्रीतः कथा कीर्तनोस्मि सांप्रतम. आप लोग ये जो भागवत में कीर्तन कर रहे हो ना,
So all that you are doing the kirtan in the Bhagavad, I'm extremely happy. Please ask for a benediction. So in the third line it's mentioned, everybody became happy that even God has manifested in asking us for a benediction. So all those attendees, they started to ask benediction from the Lord. So now comes the soul of this pastime. So they ask, Nagaha, Nag means nub, no means nub or sky, or Gaman means who roams in the sky.
उन भक्तों ने कहा कि प्रभु,
So these devotees, they said that you're asking us to ask for a benediction. So we have only one request at your lotus feet. And please fulfill our desire. And what is your desire? He said that whenever we do a Bhagavatam Katha, or whenever this Bhagavad Katha is performed in the material world, and when there is a kirtan, and when in this Katha they do Sankirtan and they dance in ecstasy, then all these Prahlad, Arjun, Narad, Sanat Kumar, you should come and with all your associates and eternal devotees and come and attend that Bhagavatam Katha. And what does the Lord says in the fourth line? He says, Tathesti, that is, Tathastu, that is, that your wish will be fulfilled. And it will be the same when there is a kirtan in the Bhagavatam Katha or dancing, then I will present myself with my eternal associates. So I don't think that I need to add anything further. You might have understood the mellow of the importance of the Sankirtan in the Bhagavad Katha, because the Lord manifests himself with his devotees. So he says that whenever he tells to Naraji that whenever there is a Bhagavad Katha or Sankirtan, I will manifest there. So let's manifest the eternal associates of the Lord, and if possible, we should stand and do the Sankirtana.
जय जय नवल किशोर, जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु, जय जय माखन चोर, जय जय माखन चोर। श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। उपस्थित
I welcome
भगवत कथा अनुरागी
all the exalted devotees
भक्त वृंद
who have gathered here
परम सुशोभित करने
and
वाले
especially who have decorated
कृष्ण भावनामृत
this Katha, the senior Vaishnavas of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, and the devotees who have gathered from all parts of the world through the medium of Facebook, YouTube, etc., all the listeners, and I especially welcome the organizers who have taken the shelter of Harinam and Bhagvat, the whole Bhardwaj family and Vashisht family. If I remember their ancestors, Shri Man Singh Ji, Lakshmi Narayan Ji, Murti Devi, Indra Singh Ji, and Uma Mata. So, in the memory of these, the family has organized this katha. The Rajesh Prabhu, Suman Mata, Sanjay Ji, Saroj Ji, Naresh Ji, Seema Ji, and all the children of this family. I welcome you all on the third day of this katha. I welcome you all, and my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam. Today, one of the devotees asked a very beautiful question. I liked it a lot. I thought, let me share it with you all. So he is from Assam, Durgapur, West Bengal. Akash Bhattacharya ji has asked this question. He says that, please let me know that is the righteousness bigger or humanity or human? So who came first, righteousness or humans? It's a confusing question. He is a son of a Brahmana. And it looks like he is a brahmachari. So we need to contemplate on this. Whether righteousness came or dharma came before or humans came before. So let me ask you all a question. Even I can ask a question. So please tell me that the chili that we eat, the bell peppers, there are so many types of varieties of the chilies. So the spiciness of the chilies, when did it manifested? So whether the chili came before or the spiciness, or if I ask you, if you see the sugar, so when did it got the sweetness? So whether it was the sweetness that came before or the sugar came before. Similarly, if I ask you about the same, about the salt, so whether the saltiness came before or the salt came before. So, to be salty is the eternal nature of the salt. We cannot separate them. Can we separate salt from the saltiness or saltiness from the salt? As the sugar cannot be removed with the sweet from the sweetness, then it will not be considered sugar anymore because its basic property is lost. As we cannot, if we remove the saltiness of the salt, then it will no more be considered salt. Similarly, if we remove the sweetness from the sugar, it will not be considered sugar. Similarly, if we remove the righteousness or dharma from humanity, then they will no more be humans, they will be animals. So, this is a very beautiful question that you asked. So, they both are equally important and they both go together. Since the humans existed till- from since the humans exist, the righteousness also exists. So dharma is our responsibility and our nature. It is our eternal nature. And our nature is to love and to serve.
इस आत्मा को जन्म देने वाले
So, dharma or righteousness is to serve the Lord and love Him as we are the soul. And other definition of dharma or righteousness is responsibility. So, as soon as we get this human body, we have certain responsibility. So, they both go together hand in hand. So this soul is attached with the righteousness or dharma. So the soul is eternal. And there is no birth, date of the soul. Similarly, the dharma or righteousness is also eternal. So they exist eternally. So we all should follow dharma or righteousness. So let me just want to tell Bhattacharya ji, the human is considered magnificent only when he follows righteousness or dharma. And our prime righteousness or responsibility is to please the Lord and to serve Him. And the biggest pleasure that we can give the Lord is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Today, it's our extreme fortune that through the medium of Shrimad Bhagavatam, we are listening to the Bhagvat Katha, and the subject matter is the Shruti Phal, or the result of listening or reading the Bhagavatam. So, what is the benefit of each pastime? So, each pastime of Srimad Bhagavatam generate love for towards the Lord. But apart from that, there is another glory of each pastime. On the banks of Bhagirathi,
तो उस समय श्री महाराज परीक्षित ने सुखदेव गोस्वामी को प्रश्न पूछा कि हे सुखदेव गोस्वामी, मुझे ये बताइए कि इस संसार में मनुष्य को सिद्धि प्राप्त करने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए? मनुष्य को सिद्ध होने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए? सब लोग सिद्ध, पहले तो सिद्धि का ये तीसरा पॉइंट, तीसरा श्रुति फल जो है ना, वो सिद्धि के ऊपर है। बोले मनुष्य सिद्धि कैसे हासिल करे। अब सिद्धि माने क्या? सिद्धि माने हमारा गोल, सिद्धि माने हमारा लक्ष्य, हमारा टारगेट। और उस गोल को, उस लक्ष्य को, उस टारगेट को अचीव करने के लिए जो क्रिया अपनाते हैं, उस क्रिया को साधन कहते हैं। तो साधन के द्वारा सिद्धि हासिल करनी है। तब महाराज परीक्षित ने कहा, ये साधन वादन का चक्कर छोड़ो। बेचारा आदमी यूं ही अपना घर परिवार चलाने में परेशान है, और ऊपर से ये साधन करने जाएगा तो कहां कहां कितना मेहनत करेगा बेचारा। हमको आसानी से सिद्धि प्राप्त करने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए? सुखदेव गोस्वामी महाराज परीक्षित से कहते हैं कि परीक्षित, सिद्धि तो बहुत सारी है। तो बोले महाराज सारी सिद्धि के विषय में बताइए, कितनी सिद्धि है और उन सिद्धि को प्राप्त करने के लिए क्या करें। तब श्री सुखदेव गोस्वामी प्रारंभ करते हैं। श्री शुक उवाच। श्रीमद् भागवत दूसरे स्कंध में और तीसरे अध्याय में श्रीमद् भागवत के इस प्रसंग का फल है सिद्धि, सर्वस्व सिद्धि। हमें सिद्ध होना है, सिद्धि प्राप्त करनी है तो क्या करना है। सुखदेव गोस्वामी कहते हैं, एवमें तत् गदितं पृष्टवान् यद् भवान् मम नृणां यन् म्रियमाणानां मनुष्येषु मनीषिणाम्। हे परीक्षित, आपने मुझसे पूछा कि मनुष्यों को सिद्धि प्राप्त करने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए। तो मैं प्रत्येक सिद्धि के विषय में बताता हूं और फिर उसे हासिल करने का आसान तरीका बताता हूं। आप लोग भी नोट कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल आसान तरीका सिद्धि प्राप्त करने का। अगले श्लोक में कहते हैं कि पहली सिद्धि है ब्रह्मवर्च। ये सिद्धि का नाम है, भागवतीय सिद्धि। पहली सिद्धि है ब्रह्मवर्च। ब्रह्मवर्च माने ब्रह्म तेज। भक्तों, एक तेज होता है, हमारे चेहरे का तेज, हमारी वाणी का तेज, हमारे शरीर का तेज। आपने कभी अनुभव किया होगा कि कोई महात्मा या कोई ऐसा महान व्यक्ति जब आपके सामने आ जाए ना तो बोलती बंद हो जाती है। वैसे यूं तो हम बहुत फुदकते हैं, लेकिन कोई तेजवान पुरुष को देखते ही कुछ वाइब्रेशन बदल जाते हैं। और हमारे जो इस्कॉन के डिवोटी हैं उनका तो लगभग अनुभव है। 15-20 साल से 4 रेगुलेटिव प्रिंसिपल फॉलो करते हैं, लेकिन जब गुरुजी पूछते हैं सिंपल क्वेश्चन कि भाई 4 नियम कौन से, बंदा कांप जाता है। वे फॉलो करता है, उसे पता है, याद है, लेकिन गुरुदेव का तेज इतना होता है कि सामने वाला टिक नहीं पाता। तो ये एक तेज है, ये सिद्धि है, और इसे ब्रह्म तेज कहते हैं। तो सुखदेव गोस्वामी कहते हैं यदि ब्रह्म तेज चाहिए,
So Shukdev Goswami says that if we want the Brahma Tej or the effulgence like Brahma,
ब्रह्म तेज की कामना यदि है तो यजेत,
if we desire that, then we should pray
ब्राह्मणों के पति
the
बृहस्पति की उपासना।
Lord of Brahmanas, that is Brihaspati. So this is the first siddhi.
तेज प्राप्त करने के लिए
To get the effulgence of Brahma, we should
दूसरी सिद्धि कहते हैं
pray to
इंद्र
Vishisht Muni.
नेत्रिय कामस्तु। यदि इंद्रिय बल चाहिए,
If we want
यदि इंद्रिय बल
the
चाहिए
strength of
तो
senses,
कहते हैं इंद्रम। इंद्र की उपासना करने से
then
इंद्र
we
बल
should
प्राप्त होगा, शरीर
worship Lord Indra to get the strength. Sometimes people have so many desires, but they don't have the energy to satisfy or do that, enjoy that senses. So for that, we need to worship Indra to strengthen our senses. So, so I'm not elaborating much on this because I know that you are not interested. So all who desire, they can jot it down. He adds further,
दूसरी लाइन में आधे अर्धाली में कहते हैं कि प्रजा काम, ये भक्तों, ये बहुत, ये जिनकी शादी हुई है ना, और शादी के बाद जो संतान चाहते हैं, बच्चे चाहते हैं,
people who are married and they want or desire children. So it has been recommended to so many people and it gives extreme benefit. So if you desire a child, then you should worship Prajapati. So this verse is quite easy. So this is also a type of siddhi or power. They add further that if you desire,
Shri काम माने, श्री माने लक्ष्मी,
if you desire wealth, so Shri Kam means desire of Lord Goddess of Fortune, that is money or wealth, then we should worship Maya Devi. When we worship her, then we get money.
और तेजस कामो विभावसुम, और जिसको तेज चाहिए,
and those who wish strength.
मैं नहीं गिनूंगा, मैं तो श्लोक के अनुसार चल रहा हूँ, मेरे पास ऐसे नंबर नहीं होते, इतनी सिद्धि, ये सिद्धि श्लोकों में है, मैं केवल दोहरा रहा हूँ.
So I'm just repeating from the verses. So just tell me the number. So for Brahmatej, we should worship Brihaspati, and for kids, Prajapati, and for wealth, and to become great, fire.
फिर आगे दूसरी लाइन में कहते हैं वसु कामो वसुन, यदि
So he adds further,
वो लिक्विड मनी की बात हुई, अब यहाँ पर प्रॉपर्टी,
so if we desire wealth or opulence, like shares, etc., then they should pray to the Vasus. And those who desire strength, who want to become powerful, they should pray to the Rudras. Then he adds further, and if you desire grains, so there were times when there was a shortage of grains. So in that situation, we should pray to and for the grains Aditi, and if we want to go to the higher planetary system, that is Swarga, then the sons of Aditi. So whatever accomplishment we want to achieve, all the demigods are appointed or are presiding on each accomplishment. So if you wish to have a particular accomplishment, then we have to approach the particular demigod. And apart from that, they cannot give anything. So they each have their own capacity or limitation to provide. So these demigods have very limited potency or capacity to give us anything, because they each have only one capability. And especially the people who are in politics and those who want to win the elections and who want to rule the country, so they should worship Vishwadeva, and then they can achieve kingdom to rule. But apart from that, the citizens also should be obedient. So so if you want the citizens to be obedient or malleable to us, then we should worship Sadhyan. They should worship Sadhyadev. Then the citizens will become obedient. And if somebody wants to have a long life, then they should worship Ashwin Kumaras, who reside in Swargaloka. So if you want strength in your body, then you should worship earth or Bhumi. And those who are eager to get respect or fame, to accomplish that, we should worship sky.
सुखदेव जी कहते हैं परीक्षित अब जो बताने
Shukdev ji says that whatever I'm going to tell, everybody desires that. So if somebody is looking for beauty, then they should worship the Gandharvas. So beauty is also an accomplishment, and to achieve that, we need to pray to Gandharvas. If we are in search of a spouse, if we desire a woman, then we should pray to celestial Urvashi. And if you want to be the king, then you should worship Lord Brahmaji. So, in this manner, Shukdev ji keeps telling about the different accomplishments. Later, he adds, if we want more fame, then you should worship the yajna or fire sacrifice. And if you desire food, then you should worship Varun Dev, the Lord of water. And if somebody, this is especially for the kids, if you want to be intelligent or you want to gather knowledge, then you should worship Lord Shiva. And if you're married and your married life is going on, but you have problems in your marital life, then to develop love between them, we should worship we should worship Goddess Parvati.
फिर अगली सिद्धि कहते हैं धर्मार्थ
Then further he adds,
उत्तम श्लोक तंतु तनवत पितृन यजेत। यदि अपने वंश की वृद्धि चाहते
and
हैं,
if you want to
वंश वृद्धि के लिए पितरों की
increase
पूजा करें।
your
रक्षा कामः पुण्य जानन
kula,
ओजस
then
कामो मरुत।
you should worship
अपनी रक्षा चाहते हैं
the
तो
Pitrus.
यक्ष की पूजा करें।
And if we want protection, then
ओजस चाहते
you
हैं
should pray to
तो
Yakshas.
मरुदगण की पूजा करें।
And if we
कितना
want
मतलब? कोई बताएगा?
Tejas, then
आप सब लोगों ने गिना, नोट किया, 15-20 सिद्धि तो हुई होगी।
there might have been 15-20 siddhis that we have been discussing.
और इन सिद्धियों को प्राप्त करने के लिए इस देवता की पूजा करें। महाराज परीक्षित सुखदेव गोस्वामी को कहते हैं कि हे सुखदेव जी, अब आपने ये देवताओं का लिस्ट बताया,
So
किसी एक देवता
Parikshit said that
करने में पूरा जीवन समाप्त हो जाएगा
we can,
और पूरे
our entire life
जीवन
will be
केवल एक सिद्धि
used to accomplish
ज्यादा
one
कोई 10 देवता
siddhi
की पूजा कर ले,
by
देवता
satisfying
कर ले,
one demigod. So
तो
more or
एक
less we can
अगर
do
एक सिद्धि दे सकता है,
1, 2 or
एक
3
को 2
demigods
सिद्धि
at
चाहिए,
large.
5 चाहिए, 10 चाहिए, और
But if
एक
we
जैसे
want
को तो
more,
सारी की सारी सिद्धि
and
चाहिए।
if someone like me who wants
सुखदेव
everything,
जी, यदि
then
किसी
what
को
should we
सारी
do?
सिद्धि चाहिए और इसी जन्म में और तुरंत,
And that too in this
तो
birth
क्या करना
and
चाहिए?
immediately, then what should we do?
अब देखो, ये भागवत श्रुति
Now
फल
see, in the Bhagavad Shruti Phal
के
or
सर्व
the
सिद्धि
fruit
प्राप्त
of
करने के
the
लिए
Bhagavatam,
क्या
it's
करना
mentioned
चाहिए?
to accomplish
तब सुखदेव गोस्वामी
everything
ऐलान
or
करते
all the
हैं,
siddhis.
यदि हमें
What should we do?
ये सभी
Shukdev
सिद्धियों को
Goswami
एक साथ
announces
चाहिए, तो क्या
that if we want to have all these
तो
accomplishments,
कामो सर्व कामो वा, मोक्ष काम उदारधी, तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन यजेत पुरुषं परम। सुखदेव जी कहते हैं कि परीक्षित,
Jiva Goswami ji says that
मानो यदि किसी को अकाम,
if
अकाम माने आप लोग
somebody
जिसको कोई
a
कामना
काम,
नहीं है,
that is a person who is devoid of any desire,
जिसे कोई कुछ
who
नहीं चाहिए,
is Muktakam, who doesn't desire anything. And then there is Sarvakam, who has all the desires
उल्टा भी हो सकता
and he wants everything.
है। तो अकाम सर्व काम, मान लो किसी की कोई कामना नहीं है,
So
या किसी
somebody
को
who has
सारी सिद्धि की कामना है,
no desire or
और
somebody
किसी
who
को
wants
ये
everything
जी, ये सारी
and
सिद्धि चाहिए,
they
और
want to
इनके
achieve
बाद मोक्ष
everything,
काम, मुक्ति
and
की कामना चाहिए,
apart from these they want
तो
liberation
उस व्यक्ति
at the
को क्या
time of
करना
death,
चाहिए?
then what should
जिनकी
that
कामना
person
या
do?
जिनकी सारी कामना और सभी कामनाओं के साथ साथ मुक्ति की भी कामना हो, तो इन सारे देवी देवताओं के पास जाने की जरूरत नहीं।
Then we should not approach all these demigods.
भक्ति योगेन परीक्षित,
Then
तीव्रता से,
if
उत्कंठा से
we
परम पुरुष
with
भगवान
enthusiasm
की भक्ति करोगे, कृष्ण
do
की
the
भक्ति
pure
करोगे,
devotional service
तो
of
ये
the Lord, that
सारी
is
सीधी जीते जी
bhakti
अपने
of
आप को
the
मरेंगे
Lord
और मरने के
Shri
बाद मुक्ति
Krishna,
की प्राप्ति हो जाएगी।
then automatically we will accomplish everything
तो इस प्रकार
and we'll get liberation
भगवान
at the
श्री
end.
कृष्ण की भक्ति करने से
So
सर्व
if we
सिद्धि
pray
जीते जी प्राप्त
or
होती है,
perform pure devotional service towards the Lord, then we will get everything,
शब्द बहुत समझने लायक है।
including the eternal abode of the Lord.
लाइन के अंत में लिखा है उदार धी।
So the last word of the first line says Udaradhi.
उदारी कहते हैं,
Udar
वो
means
आदमी बहुत उदार है, वो आदमी
benefactor.
बहुत उदार है। कौन?
A person
इन
is
सारी सिद्धियों को प्राप्त करना चाहता है,
benevolent who wants these all these accomplishments, and he takes the shelter of Lord Shri Krishna. A person who takes the shelter of Krishna, or a person who asks something from the Lord is not considered a beggar or a pauper. It is generosity or benevolence. Krishna considers that person as generous and benevolent because he is asking from where he should ask. So if we ask benediction or mercy of the demigods or people in the material world, then we will be called or treated as beggars. But when we ask the Lord, then we are considered benevolent. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says himself that someone who is distressed, his distress will be removed. As someone who aspires for wealth and he comes to me, or somebody who is in pursuit of knowledge, they all are considered as generous because they have come to me. If you have children at home and if a child asks money from their father, then it is natural and the father becomes happy. But if the child asks somebody from the outside, then the father won't become happy, he will become distressed. And when we ask Krishna, he gives us everything. And if we ask for benedictions from demigods, we can get certain level of accomplishment, and then don't judge whether this accomplishment is beneficial in the longer run for the devotee. But in case of Krishna, it is not the same case. He gives the benediction, but apart from that, he gives the nectar of the mellow of pure devotional service towards him. So in this way, this is the third benefit of the Shruti Phal, and by this we can get all the accomplishments. So today we heard the third fruit of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now let's approach towards the fourth Shruti Phal, or the fruit of listening to the Bhagavatam. Many times I have mentioned that to please the Lord is very important. When we perform the pure devotional service towards the Lord, we become happy, but even the Lord becomes ecstatic and happy. And what should we do to please the Lord? So, the Bhagavat's fourth Shrutifal in the third canto, 9th chapter, 40th verse, the Lord Himself reveals. If Brahmaji asks Lord Shri Krishna, how to make you happy? How can we please you? And then Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Shri Bhagavan said,
पुमान् नित्यं स्तुत्वा स्तोत्रेण मां भजे तस्यासु सम्प्रसीदेयम् तस्यासु सम्प्रसीदेयम् सर्वकामवरेश्वर सर्वकामवरेश्वरः। श्रीमद् भागवत 3:9-40 स्वयं भगवान कहते हैं,
so in Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 9th chapter, 40th verse, the Lord Himself says that if a human worships me, So from in the 9th chapter, from the 1st to 15th verses, there is a stotra sung by Brahmaji, which I'm sure that you might not have heard. And it is a very powerful stotra in the 3rd canto. Which is considered as Brahmastuti or Brahmastotra. So the Lord says that if somebody reads this stotra on a daily basis, and
तीसरे स्कंद के 9वें अध्याय का ये 1 श्लोक से लेकर 15वें श्लोक तक इस स्तोत्र का यदि पाठ करता है और इस पाठ के द्वारा मेरा भजन करता है, फल क्या मिलेगा? श्रुति फल क्या है?
then what will be the fruit or benefit will be asu means immediately, means that immediately on that devotee I will become extremely happy. He says I'll become happy. If somebody sings that Brahmastuti, so 2 words are very important here. Asu matlab immediately, and prasideyam, that means to be happy. It's mentioned some prasideyam, that means completely happy or satisfied. If somebody sings the Brahmastuti from the 3rd canto, and not only this, I'm capable of providing any benediction, and I will fulfill their all desires. If somebody recites this Brahmastuti daily, don't we think that we should recite this on a daily basis? So these are the small intricacies of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we should have a detailed katha on these 15 verses. Today we are listening to the benefit of this. So let me share a few verses from the Brahmastuti. The pastime is like that. When Brahmaji wanted to create the material world, so from Krishna, Balramji manifested. From Balramji, Sankarshan, Anirudh, and Vasudev, etc. manifested. And from that Mahasankarshan manifested Mahavishnu, and who on the Karana ocean resides. And that is why he is considered as Karana Dakshai Vishnu. And from the each part of Vishnu, multiple universes started to manifest. And from that, there was another Vishnu, which is called Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and who resides in Garbhodakshai ocean. And from his belly manifested a lotus, and from that, Brahmaji manifested. So Brahma is not Brahma yet. So this is the time of the starting of the creation of the material world. So when this first living entity manifested, he was called Hiranyagarbha, because the lotus from which he manifested was shining like gold. That is why he is called Hiranyagarbha. But when he manifested or he was born, he couldn't understand Everywhere it was water.
तब ऊपर से
What should I do?
कारण समुद्र का
So,
जल टपकने लगा, टप
so from Karanadaksha ocean, the water was
टप टप आवाज आ रही है।
dripping, and there was a sound of
ब्रह्मा जी ने,
tup,
सृष्टि के
tup.
प्रथम जीव ने पानी टपकते हुए टप टप सुना तो समझ गए
हाँ.
मुझे तप
And he
तप
thought
तप
that
तप
I need to do tapa or deep meditation.
गला फाड़ फाड़ के कहते हैं तप करो तो कोई तप नहीं। ब्रह्मा जी
He
बोले अरे
understood even just by dripping of water that we need to meditate. And here we keep on shouting that we need to meditate, but
और
nobody
तपस्या
listens.
करने लगे, तपस्या करते 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 करते
And
100
after
वर्ष बीत गए
100 years
और
of
ब्रह्मा जी की
meditation,
तपस्या से भगवान कृष्ण
Lord Sri Krishna became ecstatic and happy,
ब्रह्मा के सामने प्रकट हुए
and he manifested in front of Brahma. And Brahmaji
प्रणाम करके भगवान
bowed down at his lotus feet.
ब्रह्मा जी ने पूछा पहले तो मैं
And
ये जानना
Brahmaji
चाहता हूँ
asked
मैं कौन हूँ,
that, who am I?
मेरा प्राकट्य क्यों हुआ,
Why I was manifested?
लाया गया, ये क्या स्थान है।
And what is this
तो
place?
भगवान कृष्ण के ज्यादा मत पूछ रे, कितना तुझे जवाब दूंगा। भगवान कृष्ण ने क्या किया,
So Lord Krishna
कृष्ण के अंदर जो ज्ञान था उनके हृदय में
manifested
ब्रह्म हृदय
or
आज भी
revealed
है।
all the
तो
knowledge
हमारे
that he had
कॉपी करते हैं और फिर
in
दूसरे डिवाइस
Brahmaji's heart. As we copy and paste from our laptop
और ब्रह्मा के हार्ट में
to the pen drive, etc.
को ज्ञान हो गया।
So immediately Brahmaji
कहने की जरूरत
got
नहीं पड़ी
the knowledge.
कि एक
There was no
पल
need to
में
say
कृष्ण
anything.
के एक
In
sign
one
से
moment, with just
ब्रह्मा ज्ञानमय हो गए
one sign, Krishna,
और ब्रह्मा जी ने
Brahmaji
वेद शास्त्र
became
पुराणों को धारण कर लिया
knowledgeable,
और तब इनका
and
नाम
he
हुआ
got
ब्रह्मा।
all the Vedas
माने वेद,
and all the knowledge
और
of
जो
the
वेद
Shastra.
को धारण करता
So
है
Brahma
उसे कहते
means
हैं ब्रह्मा,
a person
तभी
who
ब्रह्मा बने। यहाँ पर मुझे
carries the
आपसे यही
Vedas.
कहना है,
That is why he is
यदि
called Brahma.
भगवान कृष्ण प्रसन्न हो जाए ना,
So if
तो
I have just want to add
धारण
that
करने में, ज्ञानी बनने में
if
देरी नहीं
Krishna is
होगी।
satisfied by us, then
कृष्ण की
there
एक
won't
इच्छा,
be
एक कृपा हमें
anything
परम और परम ज्ञानी बना सकती है।
that cannot be
ब्रह्मा
revealed
जी
by
परम
his
ज्ञानी हो
mercy
गए
to the devotee.
और फिर ब्रह्मा जी ने भगवान श्री कृष्ण को जो स्तुति की है, अद्भुत।
So after that, Brahmaji
आपके
worshipped
सामने
Lord Sri Krishna.
स्तुति के कुछ चंद श्लोक में
Let me share some verses.
ब्रह्मा जी कहते हैं श्री ब्रह्मो
Brahmaji says, Shri Brahma Uvacha,
ब्रह्मा जी कहते हैं ज्ञातोसि मेद्य सुचिरानुदेह भाजाम न ज्ञायते भगवतो गिरित्यवद्यम नान्यत्वदस्ति भगवन अपि तन्न शुद्धम माया गुण व्यतिकरा दुरु विभासी। एक एक शब्द भक्तों, एक एक श्लोक समझने लायक है।
each word and each verse of this stuti is important to understand. And by reciting this, Krishna will become extremely happy and satisfied. So Brahmaji says, let's start from the address that is done by Brahmaji in the second line. He says, today, after so much time, I have attained the knowledge. After 100 years, I got to know you. For 100 years, I was meditating and roaming to get the knowledge. But today, I understood you because the Lord has revealed all the knowledge in Brahmaji's heart. And after getting that knowledge, Brahmaji did this stuti. He says that Gyato Asi, today I became very knowledgeable, but unfortunately, that in this world, the humans in this material world don't understand your form. Beyond you, there is nothing that is beyond you in purity and truthfulness. So Shuddh here means two meanings. First is purity and other is truth. So there is no one beyond you who is truthful and pure. But it is extremely unfortunate that the humans are entangled in so much of the material energy or external energy that they don't understand that you're the supreme, and though that which is not true, they roam around in pursuit of those things. Our acharyas have given many a philosophy on this. Some people say that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, and some say everything pertains to Brahma. But Gauriya philosophy is amazing. What did Mahaprabhu said? That Brahma is true, and even the world is also true because it is created by the Absolute. But the untruthfulness is to consider these things of this material world to be ours is untruthfulness. Until the point we come to that realization, we'll never be happy. The mellow of proprietorship due to the material energy, people don't understand this. He adds further,
भक्त्या गृहीत चरण परयाच तेषाम नापेशी नाथे हृदयाम्बुराज पुंसाम. हे प्रभु,
O Lord, in this world,
बहुत सुंदर आपकी प्रभु आपकी कथा की महिमा अद्भुत है. इस दुनिया में
your pastimes are amazing,
कमल की सुगंध को लेकर
and the fragrance of your lotus feet by the air of the Vedas and the pastime that is revealed and which is being heard, which enters the ears of the humans. So this is the glory of the pastimes of the Lord, or Krishna Katha. The words of Krishna Katha, they touch the lotus feet of the Lord and they carry the nectar of the Lord, and it enters through the ear into the heart of a devotee. And when it enters the heart, then Bhaktya Grihit Charan Parya, and that dust of your lotus feet stays in their heart, that and the devotees bind you with their love. After listening to your pastime, they bind you. And you are also like that, that those who listen to the pastimes, you never leave the heart of such a devotee. O Lord, you always manifest in the heart of such a devotee, those who listen to your pastimes constantly. Further, he adds beautifully, he says that in this world, Tavat means tap tak, or till the point
द्रव्य द्रविण देह सुहद, इस दुनिया में तब तक धन घर
dravyam, money,
बांधव
ghar,
और
family,
फिर इन सब
and relatives, bandhu bandhav,
मन में शोक होता रहेगा।
and we
ये
always
धन
get
घर
disturbed or
बंधु
distressed
बांधवों के
because of
कारण
all
हमारे
these
मन में शोक होगा, लालसा होगी,
relationships. We will
स्पृहा
have
होगी,
greed
किसी का अनादर करेंगे, किसी को
and we
बहुत
will
नीचा
disrespect
दिखाएंगे,
someone,
इसे कहते हैं
or we will
देह।
extremely respect someone.
तो ये ब्रह्मा जी पहली लाइन में कहते हैं कि तावत तब तक
So,
दुनिया के
tavat,
इस
till the
फंसीपन में हम
point,
लोग फंसे
until
रहेंगे,
unless we are entangled in
तब
this
तक
material world,
यावत न ते अंग्री भयम प्रवृत्त लोक, जब तक संसार का मनुष्य आपकी शरण
until
ग्रहण नहीं करता।
they surrender
हे कृष्ण,
at your
जैसे ही
lotus
आपकी
feet.
शरण ग्रहण कोई कर लेता है,
And as soon as they surrender at your lotus feet,
दुख देने वाले शोक स्पृहा आदि से मुक्त
all these distresses are removed
और फिर आगे कहते
automatically.
हैं
And then he adds further
कि इस दुनिया में
that in this world,
लोगों की मति मारी गई है,
the people have lost their mind
माने भाग्य के द्वारा उनकी बुद्धि भ्रष्ट हो चुकी है।
and
देवे न
they have
हत धियो, धिया माने बुद्धि, हत माने
their
भ्रष्ट हो
mind
चुकी है।
is
देवे
spoiled
नते हत धियो भवतः प्रसंगो,
or destroyed.
बुद्धि भ्रष्ट किसको कहते हैं?
So buddhi brasht is what? This is the definition here,
देव के द्वारा, भाग्य के द्वारा या कर्म
that
के द्वारा
due to our misdeeds or karma,
बुद्धि हत माने भ्रष्ट हो चुकी है।
the mind has been destroyed.
भवतः प्रसंगो, हे कृष्ण, भवत माने आपके प्रसंग, आपके संग को, आपके सानिध्य को, जिन लोगों ने आपका सानिध्य
People
सारे अमंगलों का नाश करने वाला,
who have
सर्वा अशुभ शोमनम, श्लोक में कहता है
ignored,
कृष्ण आपका सानिध्य माने आपकी भक्ति
so
सारे अशुभों को दूर करती है,
your devotional service can remove
लेकिन उन लोगों की बुद्धि
all
भ्रष्ट
the
हो
ill
गई है
omens,
जो
but the
व्यक्ति
people
विगतेंद्रिय
have
आपकी भक्ति से
destroyed
रहता है,
their mind
इंद्रियों को
or
आपसे
intellect,
विमुख रखता
who
है,
have kept
आपके
themselves
सामने
away
आंखों
from you.
से आपका दर्शन नहीं करता,
If they don't
तो
see
उन लोगों की
you
बुद्धि
or
भ्रष्ट
they
हो
don't
जाती है,
serve
कोई
you,
व्यक्ति अपनी इंद्रियों
then
से
their minds are
आपकी सेवा
completely
में मन
destroyed.
नहीं करता। ब्रह्मा जी दुखी होकर कहते हैं,
Brahmaji
दुखवंत
becomes
आप
saddened
सब
and he adds,
बाह्य दीना, इसका कारण क्या है? दुनिया
and
के
what is
लोग
the reason
आपसे विमुख क्यों हैं? कृष्ण आपसे दूर क्यों है?
why people are away from you?
दूसरी लाइन में आप देख सकते हैं, लेश
So he says,
मात्र के
because
काम
lesh,
के लिए दुनिया का आदमी
that is temporary sense gratification, the people of this world work hard
थोड़े से काम सुख के लिए रात दिन परिश्रम करता है और फिर रात दिन मन में अनेकों प्रकार के तनाव आदि से वो ग्रस्त हो जाता
and
है।
then he is surrounded by all kinds of anxiety and distress.
कि आप बड़े-बड़े देवताओं से उतने प्रसन्न नहीं हो, ये भी बहुत
And I'm aware that you are not
अति प्रसिद्धति,
happy or satisfied with huge demigods.
आप इतना अधिक प्रसन्न नहीं होते हो, किससे?
You're not that much ecstatic by the demigods.
उपचार करते, मतलब बहुत-बहुत सामग्रियों से
So those who worship you with so much ritual,
बहुत-बहुत 56 भोग, बड़े-बड़े
those who offer 56 types of meals and they offer you diamonds and jewelries, etc., and not an ordinary person, but the demigods.
लेकिन बद्ध काम है, लेकिन हृदय में कामना हो, तो इतनी बड़ी पूजाओं से और इतने बड़े देवताओं से भी आप न अति प्रसिद्धति, आप इतना प्रसन्न नहीं होते हो जितना यत् सर्वभूते दयसाद अभ्यलोके,
Yat sarvabhute, so
करने वाले पर प्रसन्न होते हो।
the amount of ecstasy you feel by the on the person who is merciful towards others. Even if someone gets purified like demigods by offering such huge things to the Lord, but you become satisfied when a person who is merciful to another human being, then you become more happy and satisfied. So someone who is praying directly to the Lord and is spreading ritualistic worship to the Lord, directly to the Lord, and then there is another devotee who is in contact with the material world, and yet he is removing the obstacles of the people of this material world, then Krishna becomes more ecstatic.
आप उनसे प्रसन्न
A
होंगे।
person who is serving the people in this material world, you become more satisfied. So, what is the original what is the original mercy on somebody, that is giving them the holy name? So, a
भक्ति सिखाता है, आप उनसे ज्यादा
person who gives the Bhagvat Katha, so you become more happy on them. Why? It's
लेकिन दूसरी लाइन में इसका उत्तर देते हुए कहते हैं
mentioned in the answer is mentioned in this verse in the below line. He says,
उसका कारण क्या है कि जो डायरेक्ट आपकी सेवा पूजा करता है ना, उसमें तो केवल एक भगवान की सेवा पूजा होती है, लेकिन जो दुनिया वालों
so
के ऊपर
when a person directly approaches you or serves you, it is serving only one person. But when somebody is
तो परमात्मा की भी सेवा हो जाती है।
doing the welfare of the soul, then two people get benefited. As it, if we serve a devotee, then it will be the service of the devotee as well as the Lord. And so the Lord becomes more satisfied.
बहुत बहुत आपको चढ़ावा चढ़ाए वो बहुत दे दे, आप इतना अधिक प्रसन्न नहीं होंगे जितनी प्रसन्नता संसार के दुखी लोगों के दुखों को दूर करने वाले के ऊपर।
If someone tries to remove the distress of people by providing them Bhagavad Bhakti, or those who preach your holy names, you become extremely happy. Let me introduce you. Brahmaji says that I, Brahma, and Girish, that is Shivji, I, Brahma, Girish, Shivji, and Swayam Vibhu means the Lord Vishnu himself.
और विष्णु, ये हम तीनों कौन है?
So we all three of us are who? So Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh are.
ये बांसुरी बजाने वाला कृष्ण जो है ना, वही ब्रह्मा विष्णु और महेश का मूल है।
So you are the fundamental root of all three of us.
नहीं भीतवा त्रिपाद्य वृत्त एक उरु प्रवोह, आपने तीन काम करने के लिए
and to do three activities, you made you splitted yourself into three. So first as the creator as Brahma, and preserver as Vishnu and destroyer as Lord Shiva. But you are the root of all of us. Therefore, we all worship you every time and eternally. Sometimes we feel that the universe was created by Brahmaji, but who gave the strength and capability to do that? Shivji is the destroyer, but who gives the permission to do that? So everything behind is every action is Lord Shri Krishna himself. So after the Brahma Stuti, Krishna himself says that, O Brahma, if somebody recites this Stuti, then I will become extremely happy immediately. So this is the fourth fruit or benefit of the Srimad Bhagavatam.
आइए पांचवा श्रुति फल सुनेंगे. सैटरडे नाइट है तो आज लगा दे, फेंकू. आइए 5-10 मिनट हम पांचवा श्रुति फल सुन लेते हैं.
So let's hear the fifth benefit or Shruti Phal.
आयुष्यवर्धन के लिए कोई कथा सुनाइए. So
Parikshit ji said to Shukdev ji that to achieve longevity, please tell me a pastime. And it was initially spoken by Maitreya Muni to Vidurji. The pastime is like that when Brahmaji received this knowledge and he was instructed to create the universe, and he became busy in making the material world, and he created 84 lakh species, and he manifested 10 sons and told that create or increase the population, but they refused. And Brahmaji created Shatrupa and Manu Maharaj from his body and sent them on the earth to start the world. So they both come to the world, but as soon as they come down, they were unable to find earth, and they got distressed and worried. And they told Brahmaji that you told us to increase the population, but there is no earth there on which we can populate the humanity. So Brahmaji was worried that who took earth. So Diti had two sons, Hiranyaksh and Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyaksh was the elder son who was demonic. He thought that gradually we'll be fighting with the demigods, and demigods get their energy by the humans because they offer the yajna or the fire sacrifice. And if I hide the earth, then there won't be any humans or humanity, then and there won't be any strength to the demigods. So, thinking this, Hiranyaksh took earth to the lower planetary systems. Brahmaji couldn't understand. and he started to remember Lord Shri Krishna. So Brahmaji is not like us. When we have little disturbance, we get distressed or we think about the problem or contemplate on that. But Brahmaji is teaching us that when there is something unusual in our life, then we should not contemplate, but we should do chintan or remember the Lord. Tell me one pastime where a devotee had remembered the Lord and the Lord didn't manifest it. For Prahlad, he came as Narsim, and for Dhruva, he came as Vishnu. So, as Brahmaji meditated on the Lord, he sneezed, and one hog came into existence, and it gradually started to increase in its size. And all the demigods understood that this is not a ordinary hog or varaha. So he is the Supreme Lord himself in the form of a hog to bring the earth back to its original place. He manifested as a hog or varaha. Maitre Muni mentions in Bhagavatam that his head was touching the sky and his hair was shining like a moon, and he had two long teeth, and he was roaring like a lion, and he was effulgent with millions of suns. And then, to save his wife Vasundhara or earth, he jumped in the sea. In Bhagavatam, it's mentioned that as soon as he jumped, the sea divided and the water was touching the sky. So, first of all, he took the earth in his teeth. Jayadevji has mentioned it beautifully. The Lord Varahadev teeth, the earth was appearing as if a moon. His teeth were looking as moon, and as if there is a black spot on the moon. Similarly, the earth was looking like a spot on the moon. He took the earth and he situated her on her position, and then he he was searching for Hinyaksh because he had kidnapped the Lord's wife, and they had a fight, and they both were fighting. In the history of world, this was the first incident that the club of Varadev fell down, and Hiranyaksh became more confident. Actually, the Lord was trying to enjoy the fight or battle. So they were fighting. So as I mentioned earlier, that if somebody misbehaves with someone's wife, then the husband's first reaction is to slap the guy. He doesn't say that, okay, wait, I'll bring one weapon. If somebody is misbehaving with the wife, then an ordinary person, even an ordinary person slaps. So here also the same happened. The Lord has fought with so many people, but this situation was different because the Hiranyaksh has kidnapped Lord's wife, and Varahadev slapped Hiranyaksh with so much anger that Hiranyaksh's head was removed from his body, and there was a fountain of blood. And the demigods became satisfied, and they all started to glorify Varahadev. So this is the manifestation of Varahadev. So this is the fifth accomplishment or fruit. And what is the benefit of listening to this? Tomorrow we will discuss it. Hare Krishna. You all are listening to this katha with so much mellow and patiently hearing. I especially thank the Srimati Ramvati Mata and her son Rajesh Prabhu, Suman Mata, Sanjay ji, Saroj ji, and Naresh Bhai, the whole family of the organizers, because of their sacrifice, we are able to enjoy this katha. So let's end the session with Jai Jaikar.
श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण